How well are you listening right now? If you're like most people, not well at all. The most recent studies show we retain just 10% of what's said in face-to-face conversations, and researchers believe our listening skills are declining even further, with repercussions in our relationships and careers. Here with more is WSJ Work and Family columnist Sue Schellenbarger. Sue, thanks so much for being with us.
It's a pleasure, Tanya.
So, Sue, are most bad listeners even aware they have a problem?
They aren't. Speaking and presentation skills are taught widely, but very few training programs focus on listening, and we don't really honestly pay attention to how we're being received by others in conversations. Most people aren't conscious of how poorly they listen.
So are there some signs we might be able to pick up on that we are bad listeners?
Absolutely. If you're arguing a lot at work, if you're talking more than you're listening, or even more important, not getting the information you need, being left out of the loop, or feel your relationships are weak, all these are signals that your listening skills may be subpar and hurting you in ways you don't see.
And what are some reasons that people aren't listening well? Are they too busy thinking about what they want to say?
Absolutely. I mean, you pinpointed one of the biggest ones. An anxious listener may be just listening just carefully enough so they know what to say next and when to jump in. Others are listening to interrupt and prove they're right, and the speaker is not. Or they may be listening through what Julian Treasure, an expert on sound and listening in England, calls unconscious filters. You may have notions about how worthwhile it is to listen to the speaker, or whether people in that category are worth listening to. And as a result, these filters keep you in what Treasure calls a kind of concrete bunker where you're really not hearing much at all.
Oh, blocking everything out. So researchers believe our listening skills are getting worse. Why is that?
Well, we're spending less time in face-to-face conversations and listening in groups. One researcher at Rockhurst University in Kansas City says she sees among college students the time spent listening has fallen more than half in the last couple of decades. And I think that also, of course, there are many more distractions. Our attention span tends to be shorter amid all the social media and multitasking that we're doing.
All right, so what are some steps that we can take to make sure in our next important conversation we're listening?
Well, interestingly, many of the experts I talk to say it's a good idea to plan ahead. First of all, do a brain dump. If you're preoccupied with other things you're working on, jot down notes about what you want to return to so you can pick up the thread immediately after the conversation. You might plan ahead on how much do I want to talk versus listen. Maybe I only want to talk 25% of the time in this conversation. In the conversation, it helps to take notes and keep eye contact, to keep your mind from wandering, because we speak much more slowly than we can actually listen. That can be a distraction. And asking questions, of course, can help you stay engaged and getting that information clearly.
And because most of us will not remember any of this, apparently, all we need to take away is the acronym RASA, right, Sue? Tell us what RASA stands for.
Again, from Julian Treasure in Surrey, England, R for receive. That is, truly be prepared to receive in a conversation. Don't look at it as a battle. A for appreciate. Show that you're appreciating what that person is saying by saying, ah. And then summarize is S. Repeat back in summary what you think you heard the speaker say. This keeps you engaged and also gives the speaker a chance to correct you if you're wrong. And of course, ask questions. This is a sign of interest. And if you can spark your curiosity in some way about that speaker and drop those old filters about this person is or isn't worth listening to, you can really ask good questions, and the speaker may surprise you.
All right, Sue, I think I can remember that. RASA, receive, appreciate, summarize, ask questions. Phew. All right, thank you so much, Sue, for that.